All right, Shalom Israel. The water for coming to class, the water for coming out for those that are online, and also those that are in class. Good to see your faces. Good to see your spirits shining, and ready to go and dive into the Word of the Most High. And shalom and shout out to all those brothers out there that teach this truth, that are also affiliated with us. ISBHPK Houston, ISBHPK Virginia, ISBHPK New York, Rochester, New York, and we just came off the Passover with those brothers last April, and we're coming up to the second Passover actually this weekend, and unfortunately all the spots are filled currently for the Passover. But for those, we might be able to make some moves, I'm not sure, but get with us after class, because we got Passover coming up this Sunday, and we're going to need brothers' help here in San Antonio. We're going to need a few volunteers, brotherhood-wise, to get on this lamb, and we'll discuss that after class. You know, to get on the lamb and cook the lamb and prepare it. Also with the tables, the chairs, the handling of the setting up of the Passover. We'll discuss that after class. But shalom to everybody online. I know we've been coming off a busy week, and for those that can make it, cool. For those that can't watch online, we appreciate you. If you can't, come back, double back, and hit the YouTube, and get back on the YouTube, and we'll watch it then. You can watch it again. All right. But today's topic, if you want to write this down at the top of your paper, today's topic is called Brotherly Love Dissected. All right. Brotherly Love Dissected. So we're going to dissect brotherly love a little bit. All right. And so if you got a chance you got a pen and paper, go ahead and write this down. We'll go ahead and get started. All right. And shout out also first and foremost to our elder brothers Kawaka out of Guatemala. The water for the work that you do, and for the multitude of classes and understanding that you brought out and keep us fed. Also, we appreciate that as well. I'm Yatazai in London. We appreciate all the brothers out there that's affiliated with us, that keep teaching, and that are inspirations in this work. All right. So I know we got the topic Brotherly Love Dissected, and we got the verses up on the screen. But let's go ahead and shalom family for those that are live on the chat, on the comments. Shalom family for those watching as well. Let's go ahead and get this first scripture. I know it's not on the screen, but we got to start with this. Let's go to St. John chapter 13 and verse 35. Let's read that first. Either 35 or 38.
Why are we going here today? Why was the idea of brotherly love concept you want to bring out this opportunity?
Well, brotherly love is always on topic. You know, it's a topic that can never get old, and it's a topic that stays relevant. It's not like something that, I got that breakdown. You know what I'm saying? It's not something like, I got that already. You know what I'm saying? I already got, 3 heavens. I already got, baptism. It's not one of them type of things, because your brotherhood and your sisterhood is always being measured. And it's current and it's up to date. It's not something you can say I got, or I got that understanding. Well, if you got that understanding, then you know how important it is in the scriptures. So it's necessary as a topic, and I'm glad you asked that question, because it's something that needs to be relevant and stays prevalent on your minds at all times. And this is why, matter of fact, let's go ahead and read that verse. St. John chapter 13. Let's start at verse 35. Let's read verse 35.
St. John 13 and verse 35.
Start at verse 34, I'm sorry.
Verse 34. A new commandment I give unto you.
Go ahead.
That ye love one another.
Is it really new? No. This is not a new commandment. But Christ is repeating it again because it's not new, but he's reiterating how important it is. But it's not new. If you can find this back in Leviticus. Matter of fact, this whole class is going to be about this. It's not a new commandment. Read on.
As I have loved you, that ye also love one another.
He said, I'm going to give you this new commandment. Love by my measure. Obviously, our measurement of love is broken. Our form of love has holes in it. It's fractured. It's cracked. It's not efficient. There's some fallibilities and flaws in our love. So Christ said, use my measurement. He said, read that again.
God, a new commandment I give unto you.
It was crazy about that. The statement you made about we always bring to the table we want people to love us the way we have an idea of love in our mind, like based off of where I've come from or my family members or just the things I thought brotherhood was, what I thought love was. But it's good to see that Christ is the example.
Yeah, he's the example. Read on.
God. St. John 13 and verse 34. A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another, as I have loved you.
Go ahead.
That ye also love one another.
Go ahead.
By this shall all men know.
He says, by the love that you display and that you perform and that you demonstrate one towards another. Go ahead.
By this shall all men know that ye are my disciples.
How do you know you're a follower of Christ?
That ye love one another.
Because you know how to do what?
Love one another.
So how do you know you're not a follower of Christ?
Don't love one another.
Because you don't know how to love you don't know how to love your people. You don't know how to love your brothers. That's how you know whether you know how to follow Christ or not. It's based on the love you have with each other, for each other. That's the measurement. That's how Christ is measuring love. That's how the Bible is measuring love. It's based on how you see, how you treat, how you view the brother right next to you. So if there's flaws in that, then Christ said, you're not using my example. Therefore, that's not the kind of love that I want you to display. You're not following my commandments. All right? He's giving us the type of love that he's expecting from each other, from us and one another. All right? So I know I wanted to start with that because it's critical that you perform and put on the right demonstration of love, because that's how you put on Christ. All right? All right, that's the end of class. I wanted to say shalom. No. Yeah, the end. That, you know what?
Short night.
You wish it could be that simple, but it's not that simple. You know, it's summed up. All that summed up in a summary, but it's not that easy. It's not that easy because the practicality of it, the actual demonstration of it is harder than what one may seem, especially when you have your own particular interests, and you have your own intentions, if you have your own desires, and that may drive you to look past your brother. So this is not as easy subject as it may sound, but it's quite simply put in the scriptures. Love one another like Christ loved us. That should be the end of the story, but it's not. Let's go to Romans chapter 13, verse 8. All right.
That should be like the grand finale.
That should be it, bro. But it's not that easy.
Romans chapter 13 and verse 8. Owe no man anything.
It said, what do I owe my brother?
Owe no man anything.
Go ahead.
But to love one another.
What do I owe my brother?
But to love one another.
What do I owe my people?
Love one another.
Now, when you look at TV, you don't see love on TV. You see Desperate Housewives. You see hate. You see Power. You see The Wire. You see Breaking Bad. You see nothing but hate. You listen to music videos. Shoot 'em up, bang, bang. Sell dope. Sleep with your woman. Took your girl. Spun around your block a couple times.
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, it's all hate. But what we owe each other is what?
Love one another.
Go ahead.
For he that loveth another.
It said, for if I can demonstrate love, and if I could demonstrate love the same way Christ loved us, as being performed as his disciple. Read on.
For he that loved another hath fulfilled the law.
He did what?
Hath fulfilled
the law.
That's what I said. It should be that simple, and it should be a case closed.
Yeah.
But it's not that easy, because if you know how to love your brothers and sisters, then you know how to fulfill the law of the Most High. You encompass all the teachings of the scriptures. Now, when you look at the scriptures, you know, there's when you see thou shalt, you know, there's over 613 laws in the Bible, like 285 or something like that is. What you need two? What you need?
Just one more.
One more?
Yeah.
Okay. You got like 285. What's 613 minus 365? I know that. What's that? Somebody get that math real quick. 613 minus 365. What is that?
248.
248. Okay, so you got over 248 laws that say thou shalt do this. You got 365 laws that says thou shalt not. So there's 300 over 600 365 laws that tell you what not to do, and there's 248 laws to tell you what to do. So when you add them up together, that's 613 laws, right? So the Most High, there's more of what not to do than what there is to do, because if you know how to do this one, then you don't have to worry about the other 365. If you can do this one, love your brother appropriately, love your people, love your nation appropriately, you don't got to worry about the 613. He said you've learned how to follow them all in one shot, in one verse. If you can understand this, how powerful the Most High says loving your people is. You encompass the whole law in one verse. So it's showing you how critical the Bible is saying brotherly love is. All right, read that one more time.
Romans 13:8. Owe no man anything, but to love one another. For he that loveth another hath fulfilled the law.
Go ahead.
For this, thou shalt not commit adultery.
And this is why, if you know how to love your brother, you don't have to worry about the law that says, thou shalt not do what?
Commit adultery.
Because if I love you, I don't need that law.
That's true.
If I love you, I'm not going to do what?
Commit adultery.
I'm not even going to go there anyway.
Right.
If I really love you, that's a law you don't have to give me. What else?
Thou shalt not kill.
You don't have to worry about me killing you, murdering you, if I know the law and if I know how to follow the law and I know how important it is that I show brotherly love, then that law don't apply to me. What else?
Thou shalt not steal.
If I know the law and I love my brothers, you don't have to tell me the law and pull it out and bust out the law. Thou shalt not steal.
Yeah. Yeah, say that.
La'atagana, right? We go through that every Sabbath. We don't got to worry about that. You don't got to worry about stealing when you love your people. I could leave my wallet out in the open. I could leave my valuables in your presence without having to look over my shoulder. Yes, sir.
I was gonna say that's a true statement, because when I first came here, I was surprised when brothers had me in their house. There was just wads of money hanging around, credit cards hanging around, and I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, and ain't nobody got safe deposit boxes. Ain't nobody got combination safes.
Nah, it was like
Ain't nobody
no
got
problems, no
nobody
worries.
got combination safes in the house.
it was the Jews. They know the law. I was like,
Yeah,
all right, cool.
you matter of fact, brother will find your wallet for you in the yard. Say, brother, you dropped your wallet.
There you go.
You dropped your keys. I found this for you, bro. You must not been paying attention. But I got your back though. Brothers will do that. Read on.
Thou shalt not bear false witness.
And also, you ain't got to worry, if you know the law, you know how to love your people, you don't got to worry about bearing false witness, slandering the name, and reducing your brother's reputation down to zero. You don't have to worry about another man slandering your name, diminishing your reputation, making you look like you're less than anybody, slandering you, ruining your credibility, making you look small. Read on.
Thou shalt not covet.
And also, you have to worry about what? Coveting. Being envious of what you got. Because when you look at what we're about to get into, which is brotherly love, I don't got to worry about what you got, because if it's really love, what you got is for both of us anyway.
Yeah.
What you possess, we both benefit from. So it's not worth. If I got a shirt that you like, you know, you want to wear it, you can wear it. You can rock it. You know, there's laws to borrowing. It says, you know, just return it at the time that you say you're gonna return it. If you don't, then you got to pay that man double. There's laws to borrow. But I don't got to worry. I don't got to badger you, brother. Man, when you gonna get my shirt back?
Every day.
Get my shirt. I need my shirt back. But I don't got to worry about that, because you know the law. You know what love is. You can expect that back. And the same in return. Read on.
And if there be any other commandment.
That's why I said it don't have to give you the whole list. That's why he just giving you a couple of brief laws. He don't got to break down the whole Torah all over again. He says, if there be any other commandment, in summary, read on.
It is briefly comprehended in this saying.
He said, I'm trying to briefly comprehend it. I'm trying to just sum it all up without having to go through the whole Bible all over again. If you know how to love, then you know how to follow all these other laws. You're in order with all these other laws. That's why I said I'm trying to just sum it up a little bit, briefly comprehend it. Go ahead.
It is briefly comprehended in this saying, namely, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Whoa, he said you shall love your what?
Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
He said you should love your neighbor as who?
Thyself.
As yourself. That means that your brother, when you look at brotherly love is about equipping your mind with your brother's cares just as much as you care about the things that you want on your mind. That's on your mind. That means that you're able to identify a brother and look at that brother's needs and his situation and say, you know what, let me dedicate my mind to that man's needs just as much as I would my own. Just as much as I would, if I got a problem, I would go through several different meditations to try to figure that problem out. Well, do you put men in your mind and try to figure their problems out? Do you try to assist them with their issues? Do you try to dedicate your thought process to the relieving of their situations and circumstances that may oppress them? Do you have that level of thought? He said if you can, then you're summing up the law and encompassing the law in one verse. He said that they all come down to this point, being able to be considerate, looking at the needs of other people, being able to look outside yourself. That's critical in brotherhood. Knowing how to look outside yourself. Because we all know how to think about what we need. We've mastered that. We've mastered the ability of saying, man, I got this to do. I got this on my mind. I got this plan. I'm making this provision. I got this situation coming up I need to take care of. I got that I need to take care of. I got this coming up. Man, I'm excited about that. We've mastered being able to figure things out and pursue the things that appeal to us. But can you step outside yourself and figure things out that appeal to somebody else? Can you do that? If you can, what he's saying is, in summary, you're following the law in totality, because they all come down to this point. All right.
So this is the rule of the law then.
Come. Finish that.
Romans 13:10 now. Love worketh no ill to his neighbor.
Go ahead.
Therefore love is the fulfilling of the law.
Therefore what?
Therefore love is the fulfilling of the law.
It said when you know how to love your brothers appropriately, love your people, love your nation appropriately, he said that you know how to fulfill the law. All right? Philippians, let that go. Philippians chapter 2 verse 2. Let's get that real quick. Philippians chapter 2 verse 2. So love by demonstration is knowing how to think about the needs of other people just as much as you put your own thoughts or your own desires and cares in your own mind. All right, let's get to Philippians chapter 2.
Philippians chapter 2 and verse 2 reads, fulfill ye my joy.
That's why Christ said what?
Fulfill ye.
Say what? Fulfill ye my joy. Go ahead.
Fulfill ye my joy, that ye be like-minded.
That you be what?
Like-minded.
Once again, the Bible is telling us to be what?
Like-minded.
Read on.
Having the same love.
Having the what?
Same love.
Go ahead.
Being of one accord.
Being of what?
Of one accord.
One accord. What does that mean?
We should be on the same page, right?
Yes. What does that mean? He said that you should be on one accord. Somebody give me the definition of unanimity. Read that. Read that definition. Unanimity. U-N-A-N-I-M-I-T-Y. Unanimity.
Unanimity. Agreement of a number of persons in opinion
It says agreement. Spell that because I might have spelled it wrong. Spell that.
Unanimity. U-N-A-N-I-M-I-T-Y.
Right. Y'all got that?
Con.
All right. What does it mean?
Agreement of a number of
It says
persons.
agreement. That means we're all on the same page. We all think the same. We all operate the same. We all look at things the same way. We share the same judgment. He says agreement in what?
Agreement of a number of persons in opinion.
That says I know how to get on the same mind and wavelength and opinion as my brother. I know how to lock my mind and unify my mind with my brother.
Damn, that's deep.
Go ahead.
Or determination.
Or we can look at something and say, man, let's fight for that goal. Let's put our heads together share the same thought process, and fight for the same purpose. But you know what you find out? That there's more discord than there is unanimity. There's more adversity and strife and arguments and debate because you like Captain Crunch and I like Frosted Flakes.
And when the scripture says a brother's born for adversity, it don't mean we're supposed to be fighting each other,
right,
and arguing with each other.
Yeah. Well, you get up at 5:30. I get up at 6:30. I don't like what time you get up.
Yeah, that's not the adversity scripture's talking about.
So we can't meet in the middle. We share the same vehicle, but we can't meet in the middle. They say, how about we both get up at 6 then? 6 is in the middle of 5:30 and 6:30. Let's get up. Let's both get up at 6 then.
I don't want to lose nothing. It's gotta be my way or no way.
It's gotta be my way. You better get up. You better get up at 5:30 when I get up if you want this ride. You want this ride? You better get outside when I get outside. I'm laughing because these are real issues, man, and we've seen many of them. I ain't got time to explain all the different critical issues that we've seen and had, but these are real issues, man. Can't agree upon the same time frame. We can't even come to determination to say what time we're gonna leave the house together. We live in the same house, driving the same vehicle. We both work at the same place, and we can't decide how we're gonna get there and what time we're gonna leave. You making me late. You know what I'm saying? It's like, when can we get on the same page, man? That's all that the Bible's been asking for anyway. That's all it's asking for. Learn how to lock your mind in with each other for the same cause, the same opinion, the same purpose, the same determination. That's all he's asking for. Why does that have to be so difficult? It's difficult because people have preference and people have opinions, and opinions are contrary to one another. And when you can't lock your opinions together, then you can't show the Most High the harmony that He says is beautiful, according to Ecclesiastes 25:1. Let's read that real quick. Hold that definition one more time. We're gonna read it one more time. Ecclesiastes in the Apocrypha, chapter 25 and verse 1.
Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25, verse 1.
Read that.
It says, "In 3 things I was beautified."
Hold on, let everybody get it. I think everybody needs a
Page
couple more
85
seconds.
in the red book.
Page 85 in the red Apocrypha. If you got the red Apocrypha, some you may have Apocrypha in your Bible already, but page 85, read that.
Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25, verse 1. "In 3 things I was beautified, and stood up beautiful both before the Most High and men."
He said, men find this beautiful, and the Most High finds this beautiful. Read on.
The unity of brethren.
It says the Most High says it's beautiful when He see brothers where? Unified, on the same page. That's a beautiful thing. Read on.
The love of neighbors.
The love. I know I talked about my neighbors. I got some good neighbors, man. I'll be bragging about my neighbors. I'm gonna brag again. My neighbors say, listen, man. He just told me this yesterday. He said, listen, if you need an extra parking spot, just park in my driveway. Don't worry about it. Man, people don't even want you to back up and reverse in their driveway because they don't want you to leave tire marks and oil stains in their driveway. They don't even want you backing up. They'll come outside and yell at you, which has happened to us before. Y'all, this ain't no driveway. This ain't no drive-through. Get the hell out of my yard. You know, I got a neighbor that say, listen, when you need extra space, go ahead and pull in my driveway. Just leave me one slot. I said, damn, man. I said, damn. I said, man, this is too good to be true. Yes, sir.
The young lady just got shot for that. It was a young girl.
The little Judite girl, the 6 years old. The ball rolled into the neighbor's yard, and the guy shot the little girl. You can Google it. And I think he shot one of the other parents too. He shot both of them. He shot the parent and the daughter. The little girl, 6 years old, retrieve a ball out of the yard, and the guy shot the baby girl, the little 6-year-old girl, and the parent for rolling a ball in the yard. You know how many balls flew in the neighbor's yard growing up as a kid? How many times you had to hop a fence or go knock on your neighbor's door and say, hey, man, my frisbee flew in your yard, my football's in your yard, can I get my basketball out your yard?
Soccer ball is in the yard.
How many, whatever you done thrown in the yard. How many times you had to go in your neighbor's yard? But killed the little girl because she went in the neighbor's yard. But the Most High said this is how you know this is true, that people don't know how to be brothers, man. People don't know how to love each other. This is how you know it's true. Read that again.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 25 verse 1. In 3 things I was beautified and stood up beautiful both before the Most High and men.
Wow.
The unity of brethren.
It said what?
The unity of brethren.
What else?
The love of neighbors.
You got that right there?
Yeah, they tripping right out of bounds, bro.
Yeah. What's the dude? What's the dude?
North Carolina.
North Carolina gunman opened fire on family after ball rolled into the yard. Crazy. Go ahead. The love of neighbors. What else?
A man and a wife that agree together.
And that definition of unanimity. One more time. Unanimity. Go ahead.
Agreement of a number of persons in opinion.
It says when the husband and the wife share the same what?
Opinion.
They got the same opinion. What else?
Or determination.
2 brothers got the same opinion. What's for dinner? You know how many times people argue over what's for dinner?
You gotta drive to two restaurants in one
Yeah,
night.
you got to go all the way around the corner where you getting Raising Cane's. Well, I don't want Raising Cane's. I want Chipotle.
Either nighttime.
Yeah, now you go to
drive. Yeah.
3 different spots. You cooking 2 different meals. Cause why? Cause we can't come to agreement. Cause I don't like what you like, and you don't like what I like. Man, this thing is a killer for harmony. Can't get on the same opinion. That's how you know it's critical. This ability is critical for love. You need to know how to come together and unify your mind in order to love somebody. You can't come together with people. You don't know how to love nobody. When you got to be the individual, when you got to be the one that's difficult, you got to be the one. You got to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. 7 people want to eat over here, but you don't want to eat there because you got to be that guy. I'm not trying to be that guy, but no, you are being that guy. I don't want to be that guy, but you know, I don't want to eat there. I don't eat that. I don't like that. And for the sake of the unity, get a salad or something. Anyway, read on.
It says, as there was perfect unanimity among the members of the council.
They said perfect, man. That unanimity is supposed to be perfect. That means I'm supposed to come together. I'm supposed to know how to lock into a body, to a body of believers. That's critical for showing love. You don't know how to come together on one opinion and one determination. You don't know how to love, man. That's going to skew your love. It's going to alter and cause a fracture in your love. All right, Philippians chapter 2, verse 2, one more time.
God. Philippians chapter 2, verse 2 reads, fulfill ye my joy.
And this is why the Bible says, fulfill ye my joy. The joy of the scriptures is for us to come together in the same mind frame. That's performing the joy of the Heavenly Father and Christ. We're going to show it. Read on.
Fulfill ye my joy.
Read.
That ye be like-minded.
That ye be what?
Like-minded.
That's the joy of Christ. Is that you know how to come in and lock your mind down with people that believe in Christ, that believe in the Most High. And we learn how to work together, operate together, think the same, share the same judgment. Read on.
God. That ye be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord.
Go ahead.
Of one mind.
Of one mind. Same thing we're talking about. Read on.
God. Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory.
Go ahead.
But in lowliness of mind.
In lowliness of mind. Go ahead.
Let each esteem other better than themselves.
Now, we're supposed to be esteeming one another better than themselves. Meaning what? I know how to think about you better than I know how to think about who?
Myself.
Now, how does that work? Let's get a demonstration of that, right? Let's see how that works. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 22, start at verse 1. Let's see how that works. Hold we at, my one. The next brother read Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 1. Let's see how that works in practice.
Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 1.
Let everybody get it.
Ready?
Yep.
God. Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 1. Thou shalt not see thy brother's ox.
You're not supposed to see your brother's ox. What is a brother's ox? What is an ox for? No, you don't ride on no ox, bro. I hope you're not. I hope you're not riding on no ox, bro. You gonna be late all the time, bro.
Time provides for himself.
You know, you better leave early. Hey, brother, my ox was tripping this morning.
That's for labor, right?
He didn't want to get up this morning. I had to beat him a couple times to make it to work. What is the ox for?
For labor.
For labor, bro.
Labor.
It's a labor. It's a means of work. It's how a man goes to work every day. It's a utensil. It's a tool. It's a tool that he uses to work with. You need that ox to till that soil. You need his strength. You need his plowing ability. So it's an essential tool for work. So when you got a brother's tools, we use tools all the time. We use tools all day, every day. But you know what? We use Makitas.
Yeah.
And we use Milwaukee's. And we use DeWalt's. Some brothers use Ryobi's. But you know, we use tools all the time. But you know what happens? I don't care about your tools as much as I care about my tools. Hey, brother, where my drill at, brother? Ah, man, I left it at the other spot.
Look at the spot.
My bad. Oh, it's just my bad. My bad.
Not that serious.
It ain't that serious. Why you tripping, brother? Because that was my ox, man. You left my ox. But this is how. Let me not get ahead, man. Because I'm not clowning, but it is clown worthy because this happens all the time. This happens all the time.
I don't know why it's a big deal.
It's a big deal. Why are you making it a big deal?
You're making it a big deal.
Yeah.
But it's not your property.
But it's not your. You don't own it. But this is the mind frame of men. Read that one more time.
God, Deuteronomy 22, verse 1. Thou shalt not see thy brother's ox or his sheep go astray.
What is brother sheep for? Clothing, food, milk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his commodity. That's his valuables. Those things are valuable to him. Those are his commodities. Read on.
And hide thyself from them.
And you see that brother's ox, you see that brother's sheep, you see it's going astray, and you choose to do what?
Hide thyself from them.
Now, why would a man hide himself knowing that he see what belongs to his brother walking away, going the other way? Or being lost, about to be lost down the street? Because you know what? We have the mind frame of that's his problem. That's not my problem. That's his problem. That's what we do all day long.
Yeah.
This is how you know we haven't come together in Christ like we should have and like we know how. Because we see things that belong to other people and there's a callousness to what belongs to them, but let it be mine, I'd be tripping.
Oh yeah. Different.
Let
the spirit.
Let it be mine. Let it be my situation. Man, I can't even go to work, but I gotta find my ox, bro. My ox wasn't at the house. He wasn't in the barn. But I'm missing a sheep, bro. I'm gonna be late because I'm missing a sheep. Cause it's my sheep. And that's how men operate. It's that when it's my sheep, I give a damn.
All power, all on deck, all focus, all care.
Yeah, you know, all provisions got to be made. Hey, I'm gonna be late. I can't come in. I'll be coming. I'll be there, but I need this time because it's my sheep. It's my ox. Because it's mine. So when it's mine, I put all the necessary mental power and all my ability to fix the things when it come to me. But brothers don't use that same mental power when it's something that belongs to somebody else. It's damn near, hey, out of sight, out of mind.
You get another sheep, brother.
Yeah, brother.
Like,
why you crying, brother? You act like you was married to that sheep or something, brother.
It's just a sheep.
It's just a sheep. How you tripping?
I would exactly.
Ox to smocks. They all want. You get one, you get another.
Yeah, that was the last sheep you ever had.
It's more ox than the sea.
Yeah. It was mean anyway. The ox was mean anyway.
It was. This ox was mean. This ox was problematic. This ox was stubborn.
You probably get a better ox.
This ox was hard headed. This ox was hard headed. So I give me another one, better breed, different color. Get you a new one. But you know why it's carelessness? Because it's not mine. That's why there has to be a law to tell you that when you see something that don't belong to you, you're supposed to go get it. If you know it belongs to your brother, you're supposed to have the same mind one toward another. You're supposed to be unified in the same judgment, in the same opinion. Read on.
God, thou shalt in any case bring them again unto thy brother.
It said you're supposed to inconvenience yourself and stop whatever you were doing, whatever you had planned and whatever you had going on, to do what?
Bringing them again unto thy brother.
Then get off your donkey, your sheep, your mule. Go get that ox and bring that ox and that sheep back to your brother. What do you call this?
Consideration.
It's consideration, bro. It's compassion. It's consideration, it's compassion, it's love. You know what? I wouldn't want to lose my ox and then my brother see it or somebody see it and not return it unto me. You know, I wouldn't want that happening to me. So because I don't want that to happen to me, you know what? I put myself in my brother's shoes with the quickness. You know what? Let me go ahead and knock this out.
And why does it have to be a law to get a man to put himself in another man's shoes?
You know why? Because men are developing the mind of Cain. And we'll explain. Men develop the mind of Cain. That mind of Cain is self-serving. Exactly. That mind of Cain is self-serving, self-pleasing. I only care about myself. I don't care about what other people got. I don't care what don't belong to me. I don't care what it don't have my name on it. That's actually the mind of Cain. We're going to prove it in just a second. Yes, sir.
What's crazy is that he hid himself so nobody would see him say, well, I seen this guy and he let the sheep go. So
right.
He hid himself so nobody wouldn't see him.
There's no accountability.
To let it go.
I don't want to be accountable.
Don't be accountable.
Right. That's like me knowing you washing clothes, but you fell asleep, but your clothes soaking wet in the washing machine. But I opened the lid up and I saw your clothes soaking wet, and the load was done. Then I looked in the dryer.
You take your clothes now.
I took my clothes out. I took my clothes out. My clothes dry.
It's classic.
My stuff dry.
Dry.
So I take it's dry.
And it's falling up too.
That's how you know. That's how you know it's horrible. It's dry.
How about you just left? How about you just left the laundromat?
Yeah, so I get mine out. But I could have easily put yours from the damn washing machine, threw it right next to the washing machine in the dryer. But I wasn't worried about that because that's not mine. But mine is dry. Yarn ain't. Yarn ain't dry. So it's not my concern. Damn, brother, you knew I was washing clothes. You seen my stuff soaking wet. You know I need clothes in the morning.
That's not my business.
But that's not my business. It's
That's
not my problem.
business.
That's your problem.
That wasn't the order.
Yeah, hey, that's your fault. You fell asleep. Hey, I took care of my business. I did my duties. That's your duty, man.
That'd be extra strong in inspection too. That I seen brothers in inspection this extra strong. You know your brothers all garbage.
Wrinkles.
Yeah. Brother look extra
dry.
good and feel like this, shining and smiling.
Yeah.
Happy.
All up.
They want to compliment. Hey, you look good, huh? What's going on with this bro over here?
How come you look fresh and you look clean, but you live at the same house and brother look raggedy, clothes wrinkled, damp?
Damp.
Smelling damp. He got damp clothes on. He got damp, especially around the waistline. It's still wet around the waistline.
That's the worst, bro. It's the worst.
Got wet
drawers on.
But as long as yours got taken care of, it don't bother you. There's a separation of interest. It's a separation of care. And it's a separation of concern. Yes, sir.
Brother, I got to give this example. I just jumped in a trash can with shitty diapers because a brother lost something. But the first thing I wanted to do was like, shit, it ain't mine. I mean, and I know I was supposed to do this, which I do have experience with trash cans when I was in the streets. So I said, you know what? I'm going in the trash can and I'm gonna look for this information. I was picking up dirty diapers, ketchup all over my shoes, but I did that because I say I love this brother.
Yeah, but that should be done every day.
Every day.
That should be done every day. You know how many times when you clean another brother's toilet for one out of demonstration, because I'm gonna demonstrate to you what clean is, because I want to develop a standard, and I want you to have the same standard. So I'm gonna get down and clean. I'm not talking about just get the little scrubber brush and go around the toilet. I'm talking about getting behind the toilet, getting on the side of the toilet where the stuff drip down and collect at the bottom where the little screws are at the toilet. Nobody want to touch them little 2 screws on the side of the toilet. You'll wipe all the way up the top, and then be clean up top. But nobody like to get under and behind where them little 2 screws are that hold the toilet down. But it ain't yours though.
Not yours.
But it ain't yours. But you know what? But you gotta, you know what? You gotta, if you care, you'll do it. Because you know what? That's all the law is trying to get us to do, is to show another level of consideration, another level of compassion that exists outside of our own mind. Because that's what we seem to care about. Our compassion goes as far as what concerns me. And if it doesn't concern me, that's not my problem. That's your problem. That's where we live at. We live in a world where those are your problems and these are my problems. You go solve them yourself. You got hands, fix it. You got eyes, they work. Use your own eyeballs. Use your own hands. That's the world we live in.
Well, I was waiting to be relieved out of there. I had to wait to be relieved.
We in that world. But you know what? Christ is trying to show us how to come out of that world. You live in a world that the nature of it is selfish. It's self-centered. It's self-pleasing. And we're going to prove that's the mind of Cain in just a minute. But I want to finish that. Read it.
So you want the next verse?
Yeah.
Verse 2. And if thy brother be not nigh unto thee, or if thou know him not.
It says if the brother is not close to you, or if you don't even know who it belongs to, you're supposed to let it go. Read.
Then thou shalt bring it unto thine own house.
No, you're supposed to let it go and say, yeah, get out of here, ox.
And thou shalt bring it unto thine own house.
The ox and the sheep ain't got no tag on it.
Then thou shalt bring it unto thine own house.
It's not a bird now. I got so much grass over here.
Yeah, I don't got enough hay to keep feeding these animals. My house is full.
Then thou shalt bring it unto thine own house.
You supposed to do what?
And thou shalt bring it unto thine own house.
You become a burden, brother.
Now, why are you bringing that other person's belongings to your house?
To keep it in safe possession.
Right.
Safeguard.
Is it for you to keep it? Finders keepers, losers weepers.
It's to make sure nothing else happens to it.
To make sure that it gets taken care of.
Yeah.
That you know one lesson that's instrumental that I appreciate learning at the brother's house, because you know we have houses that brothers live in. One is the thinking about each other. When one brother cooked, another brother would wash clothes. Another brother cleaned. Another brother took care of the transportation. Somebody always supported you in ways that you didn't have to think about just as much as you supported them. That's the way it should be. It shows you how brotherhood and brotherly love works, whether that's in a relationship, neighbors, or amongst brothers. It shows you that it can work, how beautiful it is. Read on.
And it shall be with thee until thy brother seek after it.
And it shall be with you, and you're going to take care of it until what?
Until thy brother seek after it.
Until somebody said, you know what, whose is this? Until somebody claims it. So that means I'm accountable. The law is teaching me accountability. That's why these laws are in the Bible. Yes, sir.
You mentioned the brother's house, and I gotta say, when another brother washes your clothes, your socks and your drawers, and you do it for him, right back, same gesture, you feel that love. Man, he folded it for me too.
He folded them, and he know them clothes wasn't clean.
Do you want it folded? Do you want it rolled up? How do you want it?
Yep. And he put them folded up in your room. You know what I'm saying? Just for you, or hung it up. He hung it up for you. Hung up your shirts. Hung up your pants. Men have to be trained to go outside themselves to that level. We don't come with that nature. You know what? We're motivated by self self-preserving individuals. Self-preservation, they say, is the first law of what?
Of mankind.
They say self-preservation is the first law of man. That's an old saying. Because that's what people know how to do, is just take care of worry about their own damn self. People in the world are geared that way. But when you open the Bible up, you find out that that's opposite of the Bible. That mentality, that self-preservation mind frame, think about myself, worry about only myself, care about only myself, that's not in the Bible. That's opposite of the Bible. Just already in the few verses we barely went through has already been telling us the value and the beauty of locking your mind and unifying your mind and your opinions and your judgments and your determinations together, and how the Most High views that. It's total opposite. That's why you got to get into the Bible to really know what love is. Even though you shouldn't have to have 613 commandments, we do. Because our love is really tainted. Our level of consideration is tainted. Compassion is tainted. Because we're selfish. All we care about is us. Read.
God. And thou shalt restore it to him again.
And so when that brother does say, hey brother, anybody seen a brown ox about 5'2", about 700 pounds, with a half clipped tail, that's mine. Read.
God. Verse 3. In like manner thou shalt do with his ass.
And the same thing with his donkey. Read on.
And so shalt thou do with his raiment.
Same thing with his clothes.
Yeah.
You find a brother's clothes. Hey brother, you left your jacket. It's not supposed to be, hey brother, that's just my size. Man, that's my lucky day.
Bless it.
Somebody knew I needed this right now.
Yeah.
That's
This is just fit just for me. That's not yours, bro. You know it ain't yours. You know they didn't buy it. You know it ain't yours, right?
Yeah.
You know it's not yours. But how many times do people find something that's not theirs? I stumbled upon it.
I found it.
I was in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
It was in the lost and found.
Yeah.
Somebody lost it, I found it. Read.
And with all lost things.
It said, and with what?
And with all lost things.
All lost things are supposed to be that way. Everything lost. You're supposed to have a care for your brother. There has to be laws to get you to think about your brother, because if not, otherwise you wouldn't give a damn. Because that's not your problem. And that's how we deal with brothers. He's not my problem. Actually, he is your problem. He's not my concern. Actually, he is your concern. Well, that's not my job. Actually, his job is your job. Because y'all benefit each other. That's not my responsibility. Actually, he is your responsibility. See, the Most High got to counter every excuse that we would naturally feed ourselves. The Most High got to counter that thought process with a verse. He has to counter that mentality with scriptures. Read on.
And with all lost things of thy brothers, which he hath lost, and thou hast found, shalt thou do likewise, that thou mayest not hide thyself.
That thou mayest not what?
Hide thyself.
That thou mayest, what does that mean to hide yourself?
Look the other way.
Not desire the responsibility. Yeah.
Right. I don't want to be accountable. Yes, sir.
Or even in like a modern way, 2023, we hide ourselves by putting our phones on do not disturb, airplane mode, silence, I don't want to be bothered, I'm muting the group chat, those types of things.
Right. That too, even on small levels. I don't want to be accountable. I don't want anybody to tell me. What we'll do is we'll perceive what the call is for, and then we'll determine whether I want to answer it or not. You don't even know what the nature of the call is. It could be emergency. But you know what? Our people are known or notorious for excluding their issues with their brother's issues. Those don't pertain to me. That's that man's problem. Good luck, man. I hope everything gets better. Be ye warm in this field. Because that's what we do. I hope it gets better. Wow, really? There's always more we could do. Finish that?
You want verse 4?
Yeah.
Go on, verse 4. Thou shalt not see thy brother's ass or his ox fall down by the way, and hide thyself from them.
Because I want to put that there's labor that's required. Helping your brother requires labor.
Yep.
I want no part of that.
I don't want no part of that, bro.
Or I'm holding something against him. So this is my opportunity to get him back.
Oh man.
It's my off day.
No, yeah. Wow. We're gonna visit that point too. We're gonna visit that in just a second. Finish that in Philippians. Let that go in Deuteronomy. Finish that in Philippians. Who had Philippians chapter 2, verse 2?
I did.
Yeah, finish that where you was at.
Philippians chapter 2 and verse 2 reads, Fulfill ye my joy.
It said what?
Fulfill ye my joy.
It said fulfill ye my what?
Joy.
Fulfill ye my joy. Read on.
That ye be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord,
Go ahead.
of one mind.
Read.
Let nothing be done through strife and vainglory,
Read.
but in lowliness of mind, let each other esteem other better than themselves.
I mean, I worry about you more than I worry about myself. I'm concerned about your well-being more than I care about my well-being. Read on.
Look not every man on his own thing.
And that's why the Bible is trying to tell us, you, in order to be a good brother, you have to know how to look outside yourself. You have to know how to become selfless to be a good brother or a good sister. You just can't be consumed and engulfed in your world and the things that you got going on in your life. Read on.
But every man also on the things of others, let this mind be in you.
It said, let this what?
Mind be in you.
Let this mind be in you. Brotherhood is a mind frame. Brotherly love is a mindset. That's a mindset. That's not just words on a piece of paper. Those are actions, and these are principles that you've adopted in your mind. These are not just words. These are things that you need to institute and gravitate towards, and this becomes a virtue of yours. You got to know how to have this virtue where your issues are always on importance level of 1,000 when it comes to your issues. When it comes to your problems, your issues, your concerns, you're attentive, you got laser focus, you got all the care in the world. But when it comes to what pertains to what the Most High wants you to care about, which is the people outside yourself, your concern is like at a 5.
Or I'm very forgetful.
I'm forgetful. I forgot about that. Why could you forget about that? Because it wasn't important to you. If it was something that you needed to remember, it would be all hands on deck. You wouldn't forget it, and you'd be mad if somebody forgot what was important to you. But outside yourself, no, you know what? I don't put the same concern. I don't put the same thought process. I don't put the same commitment. I don't put the same, dedication. I don't even communicate the same.
No, I don't communicate the same.
When it's not mine, man, I ain't worried about it. I don't even communicate the same. But when it's mine, brothers call like this. Hey, brother. Hey, Shalom, brother. What's going on, brother? Hey, I got this going on. I got this going on. This happened. Hey, give me a few minutes. I'll be late. I ain't gonna be there. But I got this, man. This came up out of nowhere. Man, you pushing to make sure you get this accomplished. I need to be done. I need to be done by 1. I need to be out by 3. I need to be out by 5. I need to get out early. I need to do this. I need to handle that. Yeah, but what about what other brothers got to handle? I'll be there. I get there around 10:30. I got to bring that part up, man. I love that part. That Minister Society part. About 10:30. The eyeballs got big. It's coming around by 10:30. Anyway, but I'm not a movie guy, but there's certain parts of that movie just stand out. So what we're looking at is, do you care about, or do you have the same concern besides the things that pertain to your thought process and your mind? Mm-hmm. Can you think outside yourself? That's what the Bible's asking. That's all he's telling you right now. Think about the unit. Think about the whole. Don't just think about yourself. Think about what benefits everybody, not just you. Read on.
God, let this mind be in you.
He said, let this what?
Mind be in you.
Why is that such a critical mind frame? Read on.
Which was also in Yahushua.
Which was also in Yahushua, which in Hebrew is Jesus Christ. It's also in Hamashiach Yahushua, the anointed Christ. He had this mind frame. So you know what the Bible wants you to develop? It wants you to develop the same mind frame that Christ had. You know what mind frame Christ walked around the earth in? Selflessness. That's what mind frame he stayed in all the time. Selflessness. It wasn't, his mind wasn't consumed on just the things that he cared about. It was consumed about the needs of the people. So we're supposed to have that same mind frame, same thought process, right? All right, 1 Corinthians chapter 12, next verse. 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 25. Let's read that. Let everybody get it. Yep, read that.
1 Corinthians 12, verse 25. That there should be no schism in the body.
He said that there should be no what?
Schism in the body.
Get the definition of schism. Get that definition. SCHISM, correct? Or ZM?
Schism. 1828. In a general sense, division.
It says there should be no what?
Schism.
Which is a what?
Division.
What else?
Or separation.
What is the Bible commanding us not to have?
Division or separation.
You're not supposed to have division or separation. What else?
A division or separation in a church or denomination of Christians.
So as believers, he said they're not supposed to be a division, which is a schism, a separation. What you got, Amiati?
I was looking at the same.
Oh, you looking at the same thing?
Huh.
So he's saying that there should not be any schisms in the body, any divisions. So what he's saying is that mind frame of that's your responsibility, that's not my responsibility, that's that man's problem, that's not my problem, that's his concern, that's not my concern, that's his issue, that's not my issue. There's a wall between brothers when it comes to what they care about. It shouldn't be that wall. That wall should be torn down. That wall should be broken. It shouldn't be no, well, that's your problem, brother. You ran out of gas, that's your fault. Damn, bro. That's kind of callous. What you got?
Schism. Oh, after you.
No, what you got?
Schism. The offense of causing or seeking to cause such a division.
Right. Read it one more time.
Schism. The offense of causing.
It says the offense of causing. What else?
Or seeking.
Or I'm looking to do what?
To cause such a division.
So either I'm causing a division or I'm looking to cause a division. Either one is a schism. I'm being difficult. I gotta be opposite in my nature. I gotta stand in opposition to your thought process. What you got?
No, it's just that you better not. Nobody better not ask me to do this, etc. If they
Right.
ask me this, I'm gonna act a fool. I'm gonna flip out, or you know.
That's still. I'm gonna cause it.
You're looking for it.
I'm looking to do it. It's still separation. It's still a lack of desire to want to be tied in with the body of believers, especially a church body. A church body only functions off the efficiency of how all the members operate and deal with one another. That's what strengthens and solidifies a church body. Is the uniform compassion that all the members share for each other. That's the backbone of the church. The foundation is Christ. The backbone is how I participate in this unison, in this unanimity, which is I share the opinion of the people in the church body. He said that there should be no schisms in the what? No divisions or separations. Where?
In the body.
Go ahead.
1 Corinthians 12 and verse 25. That there should be no schisms in the body, but that the members should have the same care one for another.
He says that the members should have the what?
Same care one for another.
That the members learn how to have the same care one for another. Somebody give me Ephesians chapter 4 verse 16 real quick while I fix the scripture. Somebody read that.
Ephesians
Brothers, that's
chapter 4, verse 16. From whom the whole body fitly joined together.
he says when you talking about the body of Christ, he said how is the body supposed to be put together? Think about your body. If your arms come off your body, your torso, can your arms benefit you? Can your arms wake up and say, man, I don't feel like going to work, and just stay in the bed and you just go to work and hey man, where your arms at? Man, they didn't feel like going to work today. They decided to stay back in the bed, man. They still next to the pillows. Can your body separate like that at its own will and not affect your functionality? Can your feet just say, I don't feel like walking, I don't feel like going nowhere, I'm just gonna chill, I'm swollen, I'm sore, I'm chilling? He said, what we don't understand is you are a member of the body of Christ. Your participation is essential for the functionality of the church body. You play a role whether you want to believe it or not, know it or not, or whether you want to lack accountability or be responsible for your role that you play in the body. But we try through ignorance, we say, you know what? That's their problem. That's their church. That's their belief. That ain't my problem. That's not my issue. So I choose not to participate because that's not my concern. When Christ said he put the church together, he said the joints of the body, the members of the body are what?
Fitly joined together.
He said they fit to each other. Like a Lego, they fit together. They go together. So when you open up the Bible and you become a believer in Christ, the Most High is looking at the objective of yours is to learn how to lock in and unify with the rest of the members. That's the expectation, is that you know how to put your thoughts and concerns to the side and lock into what concerns the body and fit your member with the rest of the body like Voltron, like a transformer. Where do they get the concept from? They get the concept from the scriptures.
Right.
Like the Power Rangers, right? They know how to come together. They know how to unite. Right? They're better, stronger together than they are individually. Individually, they start getting beat up. They come together and say, man, we can't do this by ourselves. We got to join forces. Then all of a sudden they powerful. Like Megatron, right? So, even Megatron used Starscream, don't he?
He did.
Like like Starscream is like the bullets.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Like Megatron's like the gun and Starscream like the bullets that come out. Like they go together. But what he's showing is you go together with the church body. You could pull out and say, man, that don't concern me. That's not my issue. But what you're not realizing is the Most High put you together with the body as to be a member and a part that does what? Read on.
Ephesians 4:16. From whom the whole body fitly joined together and compacted by that which every joint supplies.
It says, and he compacted it together that every joint does what?
Supplied.
Supplied what?
According to the effectual working in the measure of every part.
It says, according to the effectual measure of the working of every part. Meaning, you need your arms in order for your body to cooperate and work effectively. You need your legs in order for your body to be effective, to fulfill its purpose. What he's saying is, every member is critical. You can't be separate or divided and think that it won't affect the body. You can't be selfish and think that it won't affect the body. You can't be this individual that doesn't know how to think outside himself, that's self-centered, and think that it won't affect the body. Or you can't be unaccountable or irresponsible or not want to take responsibility for your brother and say, man, that's my responsibility, and think that that mind frame won't affect the body. It will. Because everybody is situated together where they supply each other. Just like your nervous system supplies all the nerves and the sensations to every part of the body. Just like blood vessels reach every part of the body. There's blood vessels that go through your bone. There's blood vessels that go in your eyeballs. There's blood vessels in your brain. You need these vessels to be able to contribute to the oxygen and the fresh blood to go to all those different areas of the body. What makes you think you can be different? What makes you think you could be isolated? Or you could be carefree or careless and it not affect the body? When Christ put the body together that way. That's how he put it together. It works better when everybody's doing their job, responsible, looking out for each other. The body works better that way. Now you got the fingers getting blood flow and oxygen. Now you got the toes getting blood flow and oxygen. Now the fingers can do their job. Now the toes can do their job because they're all connected. Now everybody can do their role and play their role. That's how the Most High created the body of Christ. The church is the same way. You're supposed to be finding out what benefit do you play in the church and play that role. How can you best supply the church with what it needs to function and jump right into that responsibility? The first thing you need to learn is brotherhood or sisterhood.
Can I pause real quick?
Go on.
Romans 1 and 28. Romans 1 and 28.
Mm-hmm.
Romans chapter 1 verse 28 reads. Ready?
Yeah.
Go.
And even as they did not like to retain the Most High in their knowledge.
So, me not considering my brother is at the same, because at the same time, I'm going to pray the Most High. I say, Most High, I need you to hear my prayer.
Mm-hmm.
When it's time for my blessings of my needs, I got prayers. I'm throwing up the Hebrew. Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. I need Christ. I have need.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to my brother's situation, his matters, you know what? That same consciousness towards the Most High is not there. My consciousness changed based off situation. Read that point again.
Come. And even as they did not like to retain the Most High in their knowledge.
Because you were saying, why don't I understand that we're connected? Well, that situation is not convenient for me. That's an inconvenient mentality. And I don't want to think about it.
Yep.
So it pays to be oblivious. It pays to be forgetful. It pays to be unconscious. It pays to be negligent. It pays the dividends of chill time, convenience, rest, slothfulness. I can focus more on my own matters. I have more space for my matters. Why do I think about his matters when I got my own matters?
Mm-hmm.
So we're all one body, but it's convenient. Because I don't want to retain that information, that knowledge of the Most High. Read on.
The Most High gave them over to a reprobate mind.
So I end up going to this reprobate mind. So what do we find out? Lack of brotherhood is an aspect of a reprobate mind.
And a reprobate mind is a mind frame that feels like they're exempt. Some brother had a nice definition of it a while back.
It's called
I think
rejection of God.
you had a nice definition of reprobate a while back. This was a long time ago.
Rejection of the Most High.
It is rejection of the Most High. But if you can find it quickly, yes, pull it out because I like it. And I'll let you say it. I don't want to spoil it. I'll let you read it.
Huh. Reprobate in the Compact Bible Dictionary, the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Says the basic idea in reprobation is that of failing to stand the test when applied to man's relation to the Most High. It suggests moral corruption.
It suggests what?
Moral corruption.
It suggests that a person is morally corrupt when I don't know how to lock my mind together with the body. Why can't I do that? Because I'm morally corrupt. What else?
Unfitness.
I'm unfit to be in the body. What else?
Disqualification.
I'm disqualified to be in the body. Why?
Wow.
Because it's a failing to stand the what?
To stand the test.
It's a failing to stand the test. So when you're put with a body of believers, there's going to be a lot of things to test your ability to unify. There's going to be so many things, variables that's going to come about. You need to stand up if you sleep. There's so many things that's going to come about that's going to test your ability to be a brother. Your brotherhood is going to be tested. Your sisterhood is going to be tested. You're going to be inconvenienced when you attach yourself to a body. But all those inconveniences are just tests. First thing is, Can I care more about? Can I make it on time? Can I do my job? Can I study? Can I be a brother and offer the things that benefit that I have that benefit somebody else? Can I offer those benefits to somebody else? Or what happens when I'm required to be somewhere for the sake of the body at an inconvenient time? The Most High looks at that as a what?
Test.
Test. Or if the church body is going in a certain direction, but I want to go this direction. That's the Most High is using that as a what? A test. If everybody is gonna wear blue garments, but I'm gonna wear a red garment, that was a what?
Test.
That was a test. There's gonna be a lot of tests that come into play just to see if you have the capability of unifying. But that reprobate mind is somebody that fails the test when they're being tested to unify with the body. I love that definition. It's a great point, but I just wanted to add that on the scripture that you pulled.
Read from the top again.
Done. And even as they did not like to retain.
Also, right there, we can't skip past that point too. They did not like. This is about your preference.
It's a preference.
It's a preference situation. My brotherhood is based off preference. This is why I don't like or what I do like. Because if it's my sheep, I would like you to get it.
Yeah.
If it's your sheep, I would not like to attend. I would not like to have myself present. I'm not present for you.
I hide myself.
When it's your sheep. When it's my sheep, I would like you to come through for me. We call that one-sided.
Yep.
We call it being one-sided. I forgot there's another term for it. But I'm a one-sided kind of person. It's just a me-first person. Me-first individual.
Narcissistic?
Nah, I won't say that. It's just a person they're a basic thinker. It's just about you. I can't think about anything outside of me. That's a one-dimensional human being. We'll do a class on it, but it ain't coming out yet, so I'm not worried about it. But if you can't get past just you, that's one-dimensional, bro. There's other dimensions of thought besides just me. But my preferences are the palette of my preferences. When it comes to sacrificing my preference for the brotherhood, my preference for the body, now you see what I choose.
Yeah.
So that's the test. The test is what you're going to choose.
What are you going to choose? What's convenient for you or convenient for the body? Now let that go and go back to 1 Corinthians 12 and 25 one more time. And we're going to read down to 27.
Go
God.
Excellent point.
1 Corinthians 12, verse 25. That there should be no schism in the body,
Read on.
but that the members should have the same care one for another.
That we should learn how to have the same care one for another. Read on.
Whether one member suffer.
And you know what? If I'm affiliated with you, if I'm tied in with you, if I'm locked in with you, what concerns you concerns me. What ails you ails me. What hurts you hurts me. Whatever defaults that you may have in your life, that'll be a problem for me. So I'm not so detached to where it's out of sight, out of mind, or that's your problem, not my problem. When you're in Christ, your problem is my problem.
Yeah.
Your issue is my issue. Read on.
It says, whether one member suffer, all the members suffer with it.
That's what happens when you're locked in with a body. Read on.
So, or one member be honored, all the members rejoice with it.
Right, because we all celebrate the victory when the body is wholesome and unified. Everybody receives the benefit when everybody's like-minded. Read on.
Verse 27. Now ye are the body of Christ.
And we just read that the body is put together, is fitly put together, and it supplies the need. Every member plays a role for the totality of the body, of the well-being of the body. Read on.
And members in particular.
He says we're all members of the body. So you have to know, okay, if I'm a believer in this body, I'm a believer in this church, then what can I do to benefit the body? What role can I play to benefit the body? The first thing you have to develop is a selfless mind frame. 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 1. That's the first thing you have to develop is know what it's like to be selfless. You have to become selfless.
Come on.
2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 1.
Verse 1.
Read that. Let everybody get it first. Read that.
2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come.
He said, in the last days, what?
Perilous times shall come.
Now, the closer that we get to the end, which we're real close, he said times are going to get worse. People are going to get worse. Read on.
For men shall be lovers of their own selves.
Selfishness will increase. Selflessness will decrease. Having that mind of Christ will be far and few between and very hard to find the closer we get to the end. The mind frame Dawiyah just brought out, that me-centered, self-natured individual, that's all I care about is what I got going on. That mind frame is going to be the dominant mind frame the closer we get to the end. Read on.
Covetous.
They're going to be covetous. What else?
Boasters.
Go ahead.
Proud.
What else?
Blasphemers.
What else?
Disobedient to parents.
It said it's only getting worse the closer we get to Christ's return. Read.
Unthankful.
And they're what?
Unthankful.
Unappreciative. Read on.
Unholy.
What else?
Without natural affection.
Now just pause right there. Now we're not going to break down each one of these attributes that's going to get worse and worse as time goes on and the closer we get to the second coming of Yahushua. He says, but people will be without what?
Natural affection.
They will be without natural affection. Meaning people are going to get a kick out of the worst things, man. Give me an example. Leviticus chapter 19 verse 14. Somebody get that real quick. People will find humor and ridicule in the worst things, man.
19 and 14?
Yes, sir.
God, Leviticus chapter 19, verse 14.
Let everybody get it. Everybody got it?
Kinda.
All right, read that.
God, Leviticus chapter 19, verse 14. Thou shalt not curse the deaf.
He said, thou shalt not what?
Curse the deaf.
Why is it saying don't curse the deaf?
People make jokes out of it.
Yeah, people like
If a deaf person can't what?
Here.
Here.
Then why is the Most High saying don't curse him? Can he hear me anyway? Can he actually hear me cussing him?
No.
Mm-hmm.
If a person is deaf and I'm cussing the hell out of him, hey, don't you know you a sorry?
That's
You whack, man. You whack as hell, man. You sorry MF.
it's kind of funny, but it's
Don't
not
you know
funny.
you stink, man? I've been
God.
smelling you all week. You a stinky, man. Huh? What you saying? Huh? I said, man, no, everything cool, man. You sorry ass. What is he saying?
That's bad. That's bad humor.
You know what? People have a sick and twisted form of comedy or humor. They think that's humor. They find the worst things in the world funny. You know what? That's an extreme lack of connection and compassion for the fact that you're deaf. I know you're deaf, but I'm going to make fun of your condition. I know you're in a bad condition. I know you're lacking something and you're missing something. But I'm going to take the time to use your fallibilities and your flaws and the things that you can't control, your handicaps and your setbacks. I'm going to take the time to use that as an opportunity for me to laugh at and for me to get a kick out of. And for me to find why should I find some type of joy or humor out of your handicap? Because what? Because I lack what? Because I lack natural affection. Because I lack brotherly love, man. Because I don't even know how to look at you like a brother. And you know that mentality to mock and ridicule somebody's handicaps or their shortcomings?
They're down.
When they're down, that mentality grows the closer we get to the end. People going to use you as a laughing stock. They're going to get their kicks out of you. They're going to get their rocks off by making fun of your demise. Showing a totally contrary thought process of what compassion is. But that's what we'll do. We'll make fun of somebody's situation that they can't even control. They have no power over. But we'll find some way to get some humor out of that. How sick are we? How sick are we as a people? He said these are just examples of what happens when somebody lacks natural affection. Man, if somebody's deaf, the thing I would that means they can't hear a fire alarm. If they're deaf, they can't hear a car coming up on them. They can't hear a dog behind them. They can't hear these things. But for somehow, some way, I'm so detached from having a care for people that I find some humor in it. Read on. I got you, Mike. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not curse the deaf, nor put a stumbling block before the blind.
It says, nor put a what?
A stumbling block before the blind.
Who would put a stumbling block in front of somebody that can't see? It's a dirtbag move, man. That's somebody that's extremely detached from brotherly love. That doesn't have no natural affection. They lack natural affection. Damn, you don't even care for the safety and security of your fellow man. That means that when harm, I can see you doing something dangerous. I can see harm coming upon you. Ezekiel 33 verse 6 says we're supposed to do what? Be a watchman for what purpose? You're supposed to be warning people from danger. Read that just in case some of us don't know. Read verse 6.
Come. Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 6. Ready?
Yep.
But if the watchman see the sword come, and blow not the trumpet.
It said if the watchman see danger coming, I know you're blind, and I know a fall is imminent, and I know you're about to make a mistake. But I'm going to sit back and watch you make this mistake. I'm going to sit back and be like, hey, watch this. Watch how dumb this brother is.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy, bro.
Watch how stupid this brother is. I'm going to take the time to use a situation for my joy at your expense.
Yeah.
I get some satisfaction and some gratification off of your demise.
Off your fails.
Off your fails. Is that a brother?
Wow, man.
So that's really like this ain't a real spirit, but it's kind of like a vulture.
That's a predator. I find a way to collect some type of joy and satisfaction of knowing that you're about to fall into a situation that's uncomfortable and painful for you. But I'm supposed to be doing what? Read that verse 6 again.
Ezekiel 33 and 6. But if the watchman see the sword come, and blow not the trumpet.
I'm not saying, hey brother, there's something in front of you. You're making a mistake. You're about to be injured. You're about to trip on something. Or, hey, you're not paying attention. There's some danger upon you. Read on.
And the people be not warned.
And the people be not what?
Warned.
Read on.
If the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity.
Go ahead.
But his blood will I require at the watchman's hand.
Why is the Most High saying I'm going to hold somebody accountable? Why is the Most High saying that I'm going to hold somebody responsible for that man's demise, even though he failed? But I'm going to find somebody's going to be responsible for that. Why is the Most High saying this?
Because you neglected to bring it to his attention.
You neglected to bring it to his attention. Perfectly said. You failed. You were negligent. You didn't have no natural affection. You lack natural affection as a brother. A lot of brothers lack natural affection. You know why? Because they felt like no affection was given to them.
Yeah.
They felt like because people laughed at me. People made fun of me when I was in a situation.
No one checked up on me.
Nobody checked on me. People didn't care about me, so why should I care? It's easy to develop that mindset that I'm going to go tit for tat with somebody. Nobody gave a damn about me when I was low. So I'm gonna make fun of everybody that's down.
Go down.
I'm gonna ridicule you. But you're responsible. Because you know what the Most High has been doing with the law? He's trying to teach in the law that you're accountable for your people. All the scriptures lead up to that point. You're responsible for your brother. You can't use the excuse of, well, nobody cared about me. People made fun of me. That's why I'm able to do so. Really? The Most High said, I'm gonna hold that man that was there that should have said something responsible. Yes, sir.
Man, I witnessed actually what you're saying coming up in New Orleans, man. The deaf and dumb would swim, man. They would go behind this dude, and say, let's curse him out real loud. You this. I mean, loud, and say he ain't gonna be able to hit. But that dude knew something was wrong, turned around and wailed on him. And I said, well, I thought he couldn't hear. The spirit must have known somebody was. They stood behind him. I guess he felt the vibration, and they would laugh, man. And I would feel, I would look at that, and I knew it was wrong. But that's all I wanted to say.
You know it was wrong. You know, but our people are sick-minded, bro. Our people are sick. Our people are sick, man.
Yep.
And our people don't know how to be brothers. They don't know how to love each other. Read on in that.
Verse 7. So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel.
You have a responsibility for who?
The house of Israel.
Your people. You are accountable for your people. You are connected to, whether you want to be or not, you're connected to the safety and the well-being of your people. They're not for your humor. They're not for your laughter. Yep. They're not for your comedy. They're not for your entertainment. Their mistakes, their failures is not for you to get a kick out of. But that's how sick our people are. Read that in Leviticus 19.
Come. Leviticus 19, verse 14. Thou shalt not curse the deaf, nor put a stumbling block before the blind.
It says, nor put a what?
Stumbling block before the blind.
Why would I want to put a stumbling block before the blind?
I'm making your life unnecessarily hard, and I enjoy that.
Yes. Why is that?
Something made it hard for me.
Because somebody made it hard for me. You know, when you go to somebody go to 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 3. Somebody else who was reading 2 Timothy, go back to verse 3. One more time.
2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 3.
Yep.
It says, without natural affection.
It said, without what?
Natural affection.
It said, without natural affection. Read on.
Truce breakers.
They're what?
Truce breakers.
They're liars. Read on. They say they're going to do something, but they don't. Read on.
False accusers.
False accusers. What else?
Incontinent.
Incontinent.
Continent, like you. Incontinent. Fierce. Despisers of those that are good.
And they're haters of those that are good. Give me that in first in 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 3.
2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 3 reads, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days.
Once again, he says, you got to know, once again,
you got to know this.
You got to know this, that in the last days, he said it once, he said it twice. You got to understand that in the last days, there shall come what?
Scoffers.
What else?
Walking after their own lusts.
They do things for their own enjoyment. You got to know that in the last days, you're going to have supposed brothers that say they brothers, but they only do things for their own benefit. Whether it's for their own entertainment or whether it's for their own lust, for their own satisfaction. And what's a scoffer? A scoffer is what? A mocker. Somebody that mocks you. That's why somebody would put a stumbling block in front of a blind person, because they want to laugh. I'm trying to laugh, man. I'm trying to find something funny in this. I'm trying to get a kick out of this. But at whose expense?
Others.
Other people's expense. I'm getting some fun and some enjoyment and some satisfaction out of some other person's failures, falls.
They can't control.
That they can't control. And also it means to deceive. It also means to jeer or to deride. To trifle. It's a trifling person, man.
It says derides or reproaches in the language of contempt.
But that's because even though they disguise it as a joke, they disguise it as laughter. They disguise it, I was just having fun. They disguise it, I was just playing with you. Actually, it's not a joke.
Hell no, man. Hell no, man.
The deception is, I said it was a joke,
But it wasn't a joke.
but it wasn't a joke. That's why that scoffer means to deceive. I said I was just playing with you, but I really wasn't
But
playing
that was
with
a
you.
lie.
But
That was a lie.
That's what.
That's
made,
why it's bad.
That's what made it a lie.
Wow.
Because although I said I was playing, although I said I was just having fun with you, the scoffer actually is the one that's saying what? I really mean it because I don't like you. I'm having fun at your expense because I don't like you. Contempt is disgust. I'm disgusted with you. Only a person that's disgusted with you can find it funny when you make a fall or you make a mistake and ridicule you for
I
it.
really had a little hate for you.
Because I got some hate in me. That's what it comes down to. But I disguised it. I deceived the situation and said, man, I was just playing.
Oh yeah.
Man, you know I was just joking.
It's just humor.
I won't play like that if you're sensitive. If you're
Oh.
sensitive, I won't play. No, it's you're sensitive now.
Yeah.
But I won't play with you like that since I know you're sensitive. Is that really the case? Or the real case is I really don't like you. I really got a problem with you. I really don't love you. I don't know how to love you. He said in the last days, this mentality will grow. You got to watch this mentality. People go say they playing, but they're not playing. They really don't like you. They really got hate in their heart. Their brotherhood is really tainted. Read on.
Come, verse 4 is saying, where's the promise of his coming?
Now, verse 3.
Come, verse 3. Know this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lust.
Read. Now hold this. Go to Ecclesiastes chapter 37 in the Apocrypha. Give me start at verse 7.
Ecclesiastes 37 and verse 7. Every counselor extolleth counsel, but there is none that counseleth for himself.
Read it again.
Every counselor extolleth counsel, but there is some that counseleth for himself.
It says there are some counselors that tell you advice, but it's for who?
For themselves.
It's for whose benefit?
Their own benefit.
Is it for your benefit or is it for their benefit? It's for their benefit. And there's some selfishness behind the counsel. Read on.
Beware of a counselor.
That's why I said beware of what?
A counselor.
Go ahead.
And know before what need he hath.
Because he may be wanting something from you. He may be benefiting off of your demise. Read on.
For he will counsel for himself.
Because he'll counsel for his benefit.
I'm gonna position you in a scenario that benefits me.
By setting you up for failure.
Yeah,
by
setting you up
by
for
putting
failure.
that stumbling block in front of you. Because it's like a chess piece. I knock you out the space and I move in it. So this is a tactic that some unbrotherly men have. They'll tell you something that won't benefit you for the sake of moving you out the way so that it can benefit them.
Exactly.
So
And
they
it's
can
something
receive the
they wouldn't do to themselves.
Exactly.
That's the funny part.
Yeah, they wouldn't even follow that.
You
advice.
won't take this counsel.
They won't follow that counsel.
Yeah, if I were you, I would do this. You're saying that because it benefits you. If I were
Right.
you, I wouldn't take the social test.
Yeah. Yeah. Why would you tell a man not to take the social
Why would you
test?
tell a man not to take the test? Doc?
Because you don't want that man giving you orders. That's why you would tell a man not to take the soldier's test. Read on.
For he will counsel for himself, lest he cast the lot upon thee.
It says, least he cast a lot upon thee. You know what the casting a lot upon thee is? I'm going to sit back and watch and bet something bad's going to happen. And I got 3 things that's probably going to happen from this person, giving this person this counsel. And I want to see which one of those 3 things are correct or come to pass.
Hey, your life is a sport now, bro.
It's a sport.
Sport bet. You're not really It don't matter nothing. Don't matter him.
Your life is DraftKings, bro.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? He gonna sit back, give you a counsel, and sit back and do what? Cast lots, meaning I want to see what's gonna happen. He either gonna do this, he gonna do this, or he gonna do this. Watch. Read on.
And say unto thee, the way is good.
Yeah, that's a good idea, brother.
Go for it.
Go for it, bro. I think you should do that, brother. I think you should take that job. I think you should do that. I think you should take that woman, bro. That's a good idea. I think you should take that position and get you out of state.
Yeah.
He gonna tell you something he gonna tell you something to say, yeah, that's a good idea.
That's the hooker, right?
He'll agree with you. He'll agree with your plans. He'll agree with your ideas. He'll agree with your thought processes. He'll agree with everything you ask him, and he'll say, yeah, man, that's a good idea. He won't troubleshoot nothing. He won't warn you from anything. Read on.
And afterward, he stand on the other side.
And afterwards, he give you the advice. He stand opposite on the other side of the direction that he told you to go. Go ahead.
To see what shall befall thee.
To see what?
What shall befall thee.
And that's how he's playing lots, casting lots with your life. I'm going to see what happens to you, because I really don't care about you. So I'm going to send you in different directions that I don't really care about, that I wouldn't even go into. This is the mind frame of somebody that doesn't care about you. That's not connected with you. That's why it says what? In verse 12. I think it's verse 12 or verse 10. No, read verse 12.
God, Ecclesiastes 37, verse 12. But be continually with a godly man.
It says, but that's why you got to put yourself around what?
Godly men.
That's
why
why
is that?
It's important that you put yourself around godly men.
They have that consciousness. The Most High is watching their brotherhood.
Yep.
The Most High is weighing and judging their consideration. The Most High is looking at judging their household and their blessings based off how they deal with other men.
Man, how do we know that's true? Go to Romans chapter 14. Read verse 13. How do we know what Dawiyah said is true? That the Most High is watching their brotherhood.
14 verse what?
13.
God. Romans chapter 14 verse 13. Let us not therefore judge one another anymore,
Go ahead.
but judge this rather, that no man put a stumbling block or accusation to fall in his brother's way.
Why would
An occasion, yeah.
An occasion or stumbling block in his brother's way, right? Read it one more time.
God. Romans chapter 14 verse 13. Let us not therefore judge one another anymore, but judge this rather, that no man put a stumbling block or an occasion to fall in his brother's way.
Because a godly man will be conscious of this. A godly man will make sure that I'm not setting you up for failure with my counsel. I'm not setting you up for failure with my advice. A godly man will give you the right advice, and he's conscious of the direction that he's sending you. Why? Read verse 12.
God, verse 12. So then every one of us shall give an account.
Say, stop. He said, because that godly man knows that he has to what?
Give an account.
Oh, it's crazy, bro.
To who?
Of himself to the Most High.
So, because a godly man knows that I got to be careful of how I treat my brothers, because the Most High is going to make me answer for all the things that I've done to my brother. He's going to make me answer for it. He's going to hold me accountable. Why did you let your brother go down this way and you knew that was wrong? You're going to have to answer for that. Why didn't you warn that brother that he was making a mistake? You're going to have to answer for that. Why did you tell that brother it was okay to make this decision? You didn't think through the fact that you were setting this man up for failure? You're going to have to answer for that. Why did you use that man's situation for your laughter and your humor? You're going to have to answer for that. Why did you get a kick out of that man's handicap? You're going to have to answer for that. That's why it says constantly be with who? Godly men. Godly men understand that the Most High is going to hold them accountable for how they treat you. This is why I would tell people back in the mall. People would tell me, they be walking in the mall trying to clear their head. And they say, man, you know what? I can't believe what she did. They be walking through the mall trying to clear their head. They be sad. The kids wasn't even mine. I took care of them. I put her through school. I paid for the house. I bought the house. I set her up. I set her up for success. I don't understand why she did what she did. I don't understand how she could leave me. for another cat. So what he's showing is that a lot of people will be hurt. And the question I would ask them is this: well, did the girl go to church? No, she didn't go to church. Did she read the Bible? No, she never read the Bible. Well, what makes you think that if this woman don't fear God, that she's going to fear you as a man?
Yeah.
And you're just a mortal man made out of dirt and fluids and minerals. What makes you think if she don't fear the Most High, what makes you think she's going to fear you? If she don't respect the Heavenly Father, why should she respect you? I tell people the same thing that have friends that do them dirty. Man, I let my friends such and such amount of money. I let them $200, man, and they burned me and took off. I let them drive my car, they flipped the car and took off. Well, first of all, if they don't have a fear of the Most High, why would they have a fear of a human? You just wasted your good deeds. You just went and did something for somebody that doesn't have a God-like conscience, that doesn't care about brotherhood, that doesn't care about how they treat you. You just wasted your good deeds. Why they're not going to care about you either. This is why it says in verse 12 in Ecclesiastes chapter 37, what?
But be continually with a godly man.
This is why it's so important that you put yourself around people that have a conscience of the Most High. Because they'll be careful about how they talk to you. They'll be careful about what direction they send you down. They'll be careful about how they treat you. Because they know that they have to one day answer for all those things that they've said and done. So they're careful. They're not going to set you up for failure. Read on.
Whom thou knowest to keep the commandments.
Whom thou knowest to keep the commandments, because they're not going to do you dirty. Read on.
Whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord, whose mind is according to thy mind.
It says, because a godly man, his mind is attached to your mind. That means he cares about the things you care about. That means he's concerned about the things that benefit you or that hurt you or pose some harm to you. He cares about your well-being. That's the benefit of putting yourself around godly people, not cutthroat snakes. The problem is a lot of our people don't want to believe in the Most High because the pastors have been fake, the so-called church leaders have been fake, the so-called cardinals, fathers, Father Mike, Father so-and-so, because all these so-called, leaders have done us dirty. And so we don't trust the Most High because people have taken the Bible and have just used the Bible to benefit themselves. And that trust is broken with our people. Now it takes real brotherly love to win our people back. God. Read that one more time.
From the top, sir?
No, for that part where it says, whose mind is according to thy mind.
Whose mind is according to thy mind, and will sorrow with thee.
And will sorrow with thee, read on.
If thou shalt miscarry.
So are they going to laugh at you if you miscarry?
La.
Are they going to make fun of you if you have a handicap?
La.
They're going to use your situation for amusement and comedy?
La.
No, he says they're going to care. They're going to sorrow when something bad happens to you. They understand we're connected, man. There's empathy involved. There's compassion involved. There's care involved. There's love involved. Because I care about you and the things that pertain to your well-being. That's what real brotherhood is based upon. Now that mind frame of, man, that's your problem. That mind frame was invented by Cain. Go to Genesis chapter 4, verse 8. Genesis chapter 4, verse 8.
Genesis chapter 4 verse 8.
Read that.
And Cain talked with Abel his brother. And it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him.
It says they were talking in the field, and Cain rose up and slew his brother. Read on.
And the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother?
Where's your brother? Now, what did this man just do?
He just killed his brother.
He just killed his brother. He was accountable for him. He killed him.
Yeah.
But what came out of his mouth? Read.
And he said, I know not.
Stop. What do you call that when you just did a man dirty? Gave him a dirt nap. Put him in the dirt. And then you say, I don't know where he is.
Murder.
That's mockery. You're mocking this man. You mock it. That's mockery, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows where he's at?
You be the only one.
You're the only one that knows.
Right.
But how? But what benefit do you get out of saying I don't know? I find it what?
Amusing.
I find it amusing. I find it amusing. That amused him. That's how sick Cain was. He found some pleasure, some joy, some satisfaction out of saying, I don't know. He thought that was funny. Nobody in their right mind would say, I don't know, knowing what they just did. Unless they found it some ridicule, because you know what he felt like? I was vindicated because I eliminated the person that I was envious of. How do you know this? We're in Ecclesiastes 37, right?
Come on, sir.
Read verse 10.
Come. Ecclesiastes 37 verse 10. Consult not with one that suspecteth thee,
Read.
and hide thy counsel from such as envy thee.
It says Abel was talking about something that made Cain what?
Envious.
Envious, man. He was talking about the benefits. He was talking about the blessings that the Most High was giving him. Now, who wasn't getting blessed at the time?
Cain.
Cain wasn't getting blessed. So what was Abel talking about? He was talking about all the good that the Most High was doing for his sacrifices, by acknowledging his sacrifices. How does Cain just raise up and slay him?
Wasn't doing none of those things.
Because he was envious of him. And that's why it says, consult not with who?
Consult not with one that suspecteth thee, and hide thy counsel from such as envy thee.
Why? Because we understand what envy brought about. This is what drove Cain. It was envy. So him eliminating his brother, that was satisfaction to him. Read on.
Neither consult with a woman touching her of whom she is jealous.
Stop right there, but let that go. Finish that in Genesis. Guard.
Genesis
More. Read that.
chapter 4 verse 9. And the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother?
Read on.
And he said, I know not.
Read.
Am I my brother's keeper?
Now, not only was he ridiculing him, but he said what?
Am I my brother's keeper?
What does that mean?
Am I responsible for him?
Am I responsible for him? I'm not responsible for him. Cain was the one that invented that separatist mind state. That's not my problem. He's not my concern. He's not my issue. I'm not responsible for him.
Right.
He's the one that invented that mind frame. I'm not responsible for that man. Calloused, cold natured, disconnected, insensitive, unbrotherly, self-centered. That's a self-centered mind frame. Matter of fact, read this for me, Dalia, if you can. You know, gotta hit this Philo real quick. But before we read that, even the Texas law got a law against that. Read this real quick. I'm gonna hit this. Let me get this Philo real fast. Read that.
The crime of failure to stop and render aid.
What is it in the state of Texas?
The crime of failure to stop and render aid.
It's a crime in the state of Texas, even if you see an accident and you just like, man, that ain't me. That ain't my problem. That's their accident. You see somebody sprawled out on the grass and you drive by rubbernecking. Like, damn, that was a bad accident. Man, that's bad, man. God bless them. I hope they all right.
Yeah.
It said, you know, they used to call, back in the day, the South was known for what? Hospitality. Southern hospitality. The South was known for that, especially. Back in I remember this in the 80s. If your car broke down, you would have 10 people get out of their car and push you to the side of the road, right or wrong. Who can recall that time when, if you had a flat, 5 people would try to change your tire or offer you help? I've seen where that really don't exist anymore.
Yeah. Things have changed now.
But things have changed where you could be by yourself, one hand on the wheel, one hand on the car, your whole body leaning on the car. Your whole body leaning, trying to push the car aside. And people would just watch you and honk behind you. Like you slowing their day up. Like, damn, you're taking too long. You see me by myself.
Yeah.
Pushing the car. And you honking at me from behind. Because I'm slowing your day up.
You gotta push the wheel and push the car at the same
I gotta
time.
push both of them. And I gotta turn the wheel and I gotta push the car and you honking at me. That's how you know. He said in the last days, perilous times shall come. He said people are gonna lack natural affection. That's why laws have to be made to force people to have affection. That's what the Bible is. The Bible is laws that force you to have affection. Because people naturally don't have it. That's why the state of Texas had to come out and say, you know what? We had to make a law for you not to drive by somebody that you see is down on the ground. Read that.
Texas Transportation Code 550.021.
And which is nothing more than a different version of Deuteronomy 22:1-4. Read.
Is charged as a third-degree felony.
That's a third-degree felony to do what?
If it can be proven that serious bodily injury results from the accident. So you didn't take the time to even care or give a damn what's going on. Somebody die on your you're supposed to be a shepherd of sorts.
You're supposed to be a watchman.
A watchman.
All you cared about is, man, I gotta get to work. I can't be late. It's my third strike. All you care about is, you know what? I ain't got no insurance. I gotta get the hell out of here. I ain't got no insurance. I don't got no insurance. I gotta get out of here before these police come. I might make a phone call for you, and that's about the most I can do. I'm out of here. Yeah. So he said there's laws that have to be made to force people to do what? To have compassion, to be considerate. Back in the day, it didn't used to be that way. You had people that already had consideration. There's so many times where I could recall seeing people, I myself, being pushed out of the road. I look behind my car and 5 people are pushing my car. Or I see 2 guys jump out pushing another car and I get out, pull it to the side and push that car down the road. You don't even see that no more. People are losing that, man. Because you know what people losing? They don't know how to consider no more. All they care about is themselves. And all they're doing is resurrecting the mind of Cain. That's all they're resurrecting. They're resurrecting the thought process of Cain. Cain was that separatist. That's your problem. He's not my responsibility. Why should I care about him? That's all they're doing is resurrecting that mind frame. Prove that in Philo. Real quick. Let me get this real quick. Read this down if you can. Read this right quick. Philo, page 119. Read that for me.
Page 119.
Let's follow Judaeus. Read this.
It would therefore have been worth the while of this self-loving Cain to have been the keeper.
It says it would have been worth the while, meaning it would have been beneficial to Cain. It calls him, Philo calls him this self-loving Cain. All he cared about is his damn self. That was Cain's issue. He didn't care about nobody else but himself. He was selfish. He said it would have been, therefore, have been worth the while of this self-loving Cain. Go ahead.
To have been the keeper of Abel.
He said it would have actually been to his benefit if he would have been his brother's keeper. Instead of saying, am I my brother's keeper? Read on.
For if he had kept him, he would have attained to a compounded and moderate kind of life.
He said he would have had a moderate and compounded life. Read on.
And would not have been filled with unmodified and absolute wickedness.
So if Cain knew how to be a brother, he said he wouldn't have been filled with unmodified wickedness.
Damn.
If he would have learned how to be a brother. Cain's disease, the selfishness, the self-conceit, the self-loving nature, the self-preservation mind frame showed him that through that mentality you cannot be a brother if all you give a damn about is yourself. You cannot be a brother in Christ if that's all you care about is you. And this is why Cain's life was filled with tragedy, and tragedy followed him from that point on. Because he didn't master being a brother, and you cannot be a brother if all you care about is you. Yes, sir.
So is he saying that Abel would have kept him malleable?
Yes.
Okay.
Abel as a brother, being responsible for him, would have gave him better motivations than just that self-sufficient motivation that he possessed.
And also too, oftentimes you become just like the people that you attach yourself to. Whoever you're close to or are connected with, you gain and start to connect to those person's values and sentiments.
Yep.
I start being like, thinking like, looking like, acting like, moving like, breathing like. Are you guys brothers?
I start picking up their nature.
Same speech patterns.
Their virtue rubs off on me.
Exactly. So him being connected to his brother Abel, he would start having some Abel's mind frame. And it would be contrary to a murder, because Abel wasn't a murderer. But he had nothing to combat his own negative conscience because he didn't attach to anybody else. So what's the proof? That separatist mindset is a breeding ground for all types of negative thoughts. It's like when you cut the lights off and you spray water everywhere, and you just look up and you're growing mold. Look up, you're growing mushrooms, or like water draws roaches. Certain environments open up the door for more disease. Yep. So by Cain's separatist mindset, that bred the grounds or the environment for the idea of murder,
for wickedness. And to show that even further, we're going to go into what's called the Basilicon Duran, which is a book that was written by King James to his son Prince Henry. And we're going to read page 110. If you can read this real quick.
Page 110.
Great book. I recommend it if you can get it. Great book. Basilicon Duran. It's called The King's Gift, and it was written by King James to his son Prince Henry. Page 110. Read that.
As for a preservative against this leprosy, remember, ever once in the 4 and 20 hours.
He calls leprosy a callous mind, a disconnected mind, a mind that doesn't feel the effects of other people's pain. They're separated from and disconnected from other people's pain. He calls this a leprosy. Read on.
Either in the night or when ye are at the greatest quiet.
He says, as a preservative against this leprosy, he said, a way to preserve yourself against having a self-centered mind frame where you're disconnected from other people. He says, this is how you preserve yourself from developing this disconnected mentality. He says, remember, ever once in 4 and 20 hours. He says there's 24 hours in a day. This is the advice King James is giving his son, Prince Henry. He said there's 24 hours in a day. Read on.
Either in the night or when ye are at the greatest quiet.
He says either when in the evening or when you're by yourself and you got some solitude, go ahead.
To call yourself to account of all your last day's actions.
He says
Wow.
you're supposed to, sometimes in a day, there's 24 hours in a day. Throughout the day, you should never be so self-centered and so selfish and so self-fulfilled, self-preserving, that you don't think about the effect that you had on the people around you. He said at least in a 24-hour day, when you get some quiet time, you should be meditating on the effect that you had on other people. You should be thinking about, what mistakes did I do wrong? What did I say that could have injured somebody? How could I have done something bad to somebody? You got to think outside yourself in a 24-hour day. You got to look at the effect that you have on the people around you. Read.
Either wherein ye have committed things ye should not, or omitted the things ye should do.
He says either you have either things that you have done wrong, you're supposed to be thinking about, meditating on. Man, I should have told that to that brother. Man, that was a bad thing I told that brother. Man, I shouldn't have did that in front of that brother. That was a mistake that I made in front of him, because that could have led him the wrong. That could have been a stumbling block for that man. Man, I knew, you know what? That man is fighting alcoholism, and I drank something in front of him. Man, I shouldn't have been so selfish, knowing that alcohol is that man's weakness, that I should have pulled his damn alcohol out in front of him. I shouldn't have did that. Out of a 24-hour day, you should be reflecting on what you done wrong, what could have done wrong, or what you could have said wrong, or what you failed to acknowledge in the mistakes that you've made throughout a day. Read.
It says, or not omit the things you should do, either in your Christian or a kingly calling.
Read on. And
in that account, let not yourself be smoothed over.
He says, don't ever let yourself. This is advice from a king to an up-and-coming king, a prince, and a father to a son. He says, don't ever let yourself be smoothed over with what?
With that flattering fallacious.
Fallacia. That word fallacia is Greek.
You said flattering?
Yeah, flattering, fallacia. He says, don't ever. He says, let not yourself be smoothed over with that flattering fallacia. Fallacia in Greek means self-loving. That's what he's saying. Don't ever tell yourself that you did everything correct, and that if there's a problem, it's the other person's problem. Wow. And that you had nothing to do with their issues. That you were correct in a 24-hour day, you did everything right. He says he calls that a self-loving fallacia, a flattering fallacia. Means it's a mind frame that you're always right. And you can never see the wrong about what you do to anybody else around you. He says, with that flattering fallacia, which in Greek means self-love, go ahead.
Which is over kindly a sickness to all mankind.
What does King James call that self-loving, self-centered mind frame?
A sickness to all mankind.
When you can't think about nothing that you did wrong in your interactions with people throughout the day, he said that's a sickness to all mankind. When you look at yourself and say, man, I did everything right, I did nothing wrong, that's that person's problem. That's that person's issues. Too bad. I'm innocent. It wasn't my doing. If that person got a problem with me, that's their problem. If that person got an issue with me, that's their issue. He said that's a sickness to all mankind. And he's warning his son never to develop that mentality where you can never see yourself. And you can never see the effect that you have on the people around you. He said that's a sickness to not have the ability to do that. Cain had that same self-centered mentality. That's what Philo said. You had such a self-loving nature, you can't see no wrong that you do. Read on.
But censure yourself as sharply.
He says, but you're supposed to do what?
Censure yourself.
You're supposed to censor yourself. Like there's PG-13. Like, okay, this is rated safe for children. This is rated R. Meaning what? Man, this contains some violence, foul language. Oh, this might be X-rated. You know, this is not for everybody. So he said you're supposed to have this mind frame where you got to censor yourself, meaning I got to be careful about the effect that I have on my brothers, man, at all times, both in speech and in action. And that's not for brothers only, that's for sisters and brothers. I got to walk around making sure that I'm careful about the effect I have on my people, because I love my people. Read on.
It says, but censor yourself as sharply as if ye were your own enemy.
He says, how should you look at yourself?
As if you were your own enemy.
That's how much you should be examining yourself throughout the day.
Man.
As if you were your own enemy. That means you're conscious about the effect that you have on your people. Not the Cain mentality, which is, I don't know, am I my brother's keeper? You're either going to have Cain's mentality or you're going to have a crisis mentality. You're going to have a selfish mentality. You're going to have King James's mentality. You're going to have a mind frame that's always conscious about your mistakes, about what you say and what you do wrong. You're not going to use people as your entertainment. Yes, sir.
So Cain was the first liar. He was the
first murderer.
First murderer, because the answer he answered the Lord really was an arrogant statement. Which, I don't know. That's arrogance.
It is arrogance.
So arrogancy.
Arrogance, murder, deceit, mockery, as if the Most High don't know what happened to him.
Right.
That's why the Most High said, how can one say you don't know what happened to him when your brother's blood cried from the earth? So he's saying that, but that mentality is, he was already calloused and disconnected as a brother. He had already lacked natural affection as a brother. He already lacked love as a brother. He didn't know how to think. He didn't care about how his brother thought. He only cared, he was self-indulging. All he saw was what he cared about and getting what he wanted, which was he was agitating the ground, making money off the crops. All he cared about was his increase. He cared about nothing else.
Damn.
And King James is saying that's a sickness to every man. It's to be only self-centered to the point where you don't care about the effect you have on people. Read on.
For if ye judge yourself,
it says, for if ye judge yourself, read on.
Ye shall not be judged.
Ye shall not be judged, which he get that straight from the scriptures. Read on.
As the apostle saith, and then according to your censor, reform your actions.
He says, based on how you reflect every day about what you do right and wrong, man, make sure you reform yourself and say, man, I'm never going to do that again. I'm not going to speak that way and have that effect on that person no more. I'm not going to say that around that person. Or I'm not going to show this person a weak example. Or I'm not going to laugh at this person's handicaps. He said you're supposed to be checking yourself every day. You got 24 hours in a day. You should dedicate some time of that day to checking your thoughts and your effect that you have on your people. Read on.
Reform your actions as far as ye may, eschewing ever willfully and wittingly to contrary. Your conscience. I think it means to defend.
Yeah, contrary means to oppose your conscience.
Okay.
Meaning you should be standing in opposition of your conscience. You should not be in agreement with the way you think all the time, because the way you think isn't always correct. Because sometimes you can't have a negative effect on the people around you. So you shouldn't be agreeing with your conscience. You should stand in opposition to your conscience. Go ahead.
Or a small sin willfully committed.
It says for a small sin willfully committed with a deliberate resolution to break the bridle of conscience therein is far more grievous before the Most High than a greater sin committed in a sudden passion. When conscience is asleep, remember therefore in all your actions of the great account that ye are one day to make in all the days of your life. He says, therefore, in all your actions, he says, of the great account that ye are one day to make. He says, he's telling his son the same thing we just read a minute ago. He's telling his son, you're going to have to answer. You're going to have to make account for everything you said and done to the people around you. It's crazy. He just calls it the great account. We just read that. We just read that a minute ago, that in 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 3, I believe that was either Timothy or Peter, where he says that you're going to have to give account to the Lord one day before the Lord.
2 Chronicles 19:6.
Read that.
And said to the judges, take heed what ye do, for ye judge not for man, but for the Most High, who is with you in the judgment.
So the Most, he said, you judge for who?
You judge not for man, but for the Lord, who is with you in judgment.
So the Most High is supposed to be with you in judgment. That means how you treat people. The Most High is supposed to be in your conscience, with you in how you deal with people. He's supposed to be there with you in your conscience. Cain was that first person to be calloused and disconnected from brotherly love. He was the first bad example of brotherly love. He was the first example of what not to do concerning brotherly love. Ecclesiastes, Romans chapter 12 verse 9. We're going to end it with this. Romans chapter 12 verse 9.
Come. Romans chapter 12 and verse 9. Whenever you ready, sir.
Read that.
Come. It says, let love be without dissimulation.
So he said, let your love be without what?
Dissimulation.
So our love is with dissimulation when we don't share the same pain as our brothers. We don't share the same sorrow with our brothers. We make fun of our brothers when they go through painful situations. We're disconnected with our brothers. We're callous to their pitfalls, to their handicaps, to their errors, to their mistakes, to their shortcomings. We find mockery in it.
Or we counsel for gain.
Or we counsel for gain.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, you should try it.
Yeah,
You wouldn't do it.
No, you wouldn't do it, but you tell somebody else to do something.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't counsel somebody to do something you wouldn't do. That ain't righteous.
No. He said, but that love is fake. Read on.
Come. Let love be without dissimulation.
Read on.
Abhor that which is evil.
Read on.
Cleave to that which is good.
He says, stick to that which is good. So what is good about brotherly love? What can you do to harbor and initiate more positive brotherly love? Read on.
Be kindly affection one to another.
What can increase your brotherhood?
Be kindly affection one to another.
What does that mean?
Your brother above yourself, his needs more important than yours.
Care about that man more than you care about yourself.
Charity.
That charity. This is how you can learn how to perfect your brotherhood. Put other people's needs before yours. Put their pain as your pain. If they sorrow, you sorrow. If they suffer, you suffer. If they rejoice, you rejoice. Tie yourself in with the mind frame and the opinions of your people. Don't be so disconnected in thought. Don't be so callous and careless as to say, well, that's not my problem, that's his problem. No, he is your problem. Read on.
Come. Be kindly affection one to another with brotherly love.
With what?
With brotherly love.
Read on.
In honor.
How do you manifest brotherly love?
In honor.
In honor, doing what?
Preferring one another.
It says preferring one another. What does that mean? I prefer your well-being over my well-being.
Preference.
That's my preference.
Yeah.
What benefits you is preferred over what benefits me. Because that was the mind of Christ. Last one, Romans 15 and 1.
Come.
Go ahead, bro. Romans chapter 15 verse 1. We then that are strong ought to bear the infirmities of the weak.
Read on.
And not to please ourselves.
How do I manifest brotherly love?
Not to please ourselves.
Start looking outside yourself. Don't just worry about what pleases you. Don't be so concerned about just what you're engulfed in what's going on in your world. Start looking at other people's problems, especially those that believe. Because that, read on, it says, ye that are strong, bear the infirmities of the weak, and not please yourself. Why is this so important? Read on.
Let every one of us please his neighbor for his good to edification.
Go ahead.
For even Christ pleased not himself.
Let me see how much good I can do for my brother. How much good can I benefit my brother versus benefit me? For his good to edification. What builds my brother up? Not just be so concerned about what builds me up. I got to step outside of myself. Because it says, for even Christ did what?
For even Christ pleased not himself.
It says, for even Christ pleased not what?
Himself.
Christ was in opposition of that Cain mentality. That self-centered, self-loving nature. All I care about is me. That's all I'm concerned about. He said this is why it's so important that in order to master brotherhood, you have to master being selfless. They go together. If you want to be a good sister, you got to be selfless. That's what's going to drive you to become the best sister you can be. You want to go down historically in this life, because every man's going to have to give account what he did in this life. You want to go down historically written down that, man, that brother was a good brother. Because that brother had the mind of Christ. He put other people over him. She put other people over her. That's how you do it. That's how you master this brotherly love. All right, we'll end it with that. So any questions? All right, with that, we're going to go ahead and say shalom. The water for watching. The water for coming out. We got class again on Friday. We also got Passover on Saturday. Sunday. We need some preparation help on Saturday, and we'll discuss that after class. We'll go ahead and call it a night. I know it's going to come up fast. We do have some brothers and sisters that are coming into town. We can't wait to see them. It'll be our first time meeting those brothers and sisters, so we're happy and excited about that. And for those that are here in town, hopefully we can see you at the Passover as well. And with that, we're going to say shalom, and we'll see you again on Friday. All right, shalom.